Merry Christmas, everybody. Hello, hello. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. Happy middle of winter. Hope everyone's doing well. Regardless of what time or day it may be. Good to see everybody. Yeah, Rachel and I are cutting it close. Getting things together last minute. Still got stuff to wrap. Still got food to make in the morning. But it should be a good time. What's up, Shadow Noises? Hey, Independent. Hey, Temporal Fry. Pandawan. Hey, Melabramo. Silent Hill is a scary place? What are you talking about? It's a lovely tourist destination with a very nice historical district and amusement park and a beautiful lake. It's not scary at all. Anyone think there's potential in a winter setting for Silent Hill? Think it'd be pretty good? Guess Shattered Memories is already that in a way. Yeah, it's pretty much Shattered Memories. Pretty much Shattered Memories. I like the winter theme, and I'll probably be streaming Shattered Memories tomorrow on actual Christmas Day. Like during the day, we're gonna be over at family's house, but whenever I'm back in the late afternoon or evening or whatever, I'll probably jump on and do a playthrough of Shattered Memories. Shattered Memories is like the perfect wintertime Silent Hill game. I'm a big fan of Shattered Memories. Out of all the Western developed ones, it's one of the more interesting ones. One of the ones that I really enjoy. Chicken wings sounds so good. Yeah, Rachel and I are going to be making some chicken wings. I'm going to be baking some cookies. Having some stuff together. Yeah, that's mainly for the parents' visit. And we're going to have other food and other stuff that we're going to do this weekend. Because we do like our little get together on Saturday with our friends. A little after Christmas. Yeah, doing some bacon wrapped sausage. I'll be baking probably some more cookies, along with some like cupcakes. Just gonna make a bunch of good food. Hang out with some good friends. That's all I want out of holidays. imagine the town of Silent Hill in a perpetual blizzard. This time of year has me looking at horror differently. That was going to be part of the concept for what eventually became Silent Hill Shattered Memories. It was originally pitched as a Brahms PD, like police department spinoff, and then when that got rejected, there was a different pitch that it evolved into called Silent Hill Cold Heart. And there's actually pamphlets and brochures out there from the pitch that have been online for years and years at this point. But part of the pitch for Silent Hill Cold Heart was that you'd be in Silent Hill. It was going to be, you know, an original character, a female protagonist, not the remake, reimagining, you know, Silent Hill Shattered Memories that we know. But you were going to be playing an original character in a blizzard environment in Silent Hill. And there were like survival aspects to it where you were going to have to find like shelter when the blizzard got bad. You'd have to try to find like warmer clothes, and, you know, there was like a light survival aspect to it. So I imagine something kind of similar to like Silent Hill Shattered Memories mixed with something like The Long Dark, if you've ever played that. And I still think that's a cool idea. I still wish we could see that game. As much as I like Shattered Memories, I like the concept behind Silent Hill Cold Heart. Have a new dream. That's also what I tend to lean towards when a lot of people bring up the idea of like, well, Silent Hill as a series is expanding and it's outside of the town and it's a worldwide phenomenon now, which is why you have stuff like Silent Hill F in Japan in the 60s and in the 50s and 60s, and you have Silent Hill The Short Message in you know, mid 2020s, you know, post-COVID in Germany, and Ascension taking place over in Norway. So like, and people are saying like, oh, you need to let go of Silent Hill as a town and just kind of appreciate Silent Hill as a concept, because how many ideas can you really have around the town? I argue you can have a lot of interesting ideas around the town. I think there's a lot of interesting ways to still have different types of stories. Not everything needs to necessarily be a protagonist with trauma and unveiling their tragic backstory and why it's manifesting creatures into their subconscious. I like the concepts of like Silent Hill 1 and Silent Hill 4, where Harry doesn't know anything about the cult in Silent Hill 1. You're just experiencing horrors from somebody else's mind, and they don't make any sense to you. They're not relevant to your character as a protagonist. Same with Silent Hill 4, with Henry. Like, he doesn't know who Walter is. He's not part of all of that. He's just unlucky enough to be in the guy living in 302 when all this stuff goes down. I like those types of stories. I like those types of games. As much as I love Silent Hill 2, I hate how it shaped so much of the rest of the Silent Hill franchise to just kind of try to keep recreating that formula of like main character with a twist in their story and trauma that's shaping the environment and the monsters around them. That's become so synonymous with Silent Hill, even though that's not even something unique to Silent Hill. It's something that's sort of more of psychological horror overall. But yeah, the idea of having like a super snowy, blizzardy, similar to Shattered Memories kind of setting with some survival elements. Again, I like that idea for Silent Hill Cold Heart. I thought that was a really good concept. I would love to have seen that game. But I do think there's a lot of cool stuff you could still do centered around the town, centered around the cult, and still have really interesting, engaging, original stories. I don't think it's necessary to completely divorce the series from the town just because they're like creatively bankrupt. We can't think of anything else to do with the town, so let's just move it. You know, it's just a concept. The other world can be a thing anywhere. Just seems kind of lazy. Like, you can involve the story. You can involve stuff from the originals if you're willing to go for it. Research it. Make things connect in important ways. They should do one that's the cult being revived after Silent Hill 3. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff with the cult itself. Because, like, it's existed in many different forms across the history of the town. The beliefs and everything are structured very differently from game to game. So, like, their beliefs and everything shifts so dramatically. It's interesting seeing from the cult POV, like, some of these different time frames when the cult was at its strongest and had the most influence and stuff over the town, or at its weakest when most of them died or vanished or left or, you know, whatever. There's a lot of interesting stuff you can do with that. Yo, Hirimi. What's up, man? Merry Crimbus. Merry Crisis. Did the gods of Silent Hill break out and attach themselves to those who invoke them? Just different forms in other cultures? Same cult, different in other cultures. So that would imply that there are actual gods of Silent Hill, which is already a topic of a lot of debate. Because essentially what we know from the original Silent Hill games, the context of sort of what the power is and how it works, it takes what's in your mind, or the mind of other people, the mind of a collective of people, and is able to project what is in their subconscious into reality. So that spiritual power can take on a lot of different forms. Before the cult was there, Native American tribes lived there, and for them the power wasn't evil, it wasn't gods, it wasn't devils, it wasn't angels, it wasn't demons, it was spirits of nature. The spirits of the trees and the rocks and the rivers, the spirits of their ancestors. It was something that was not necessarily evil. But when you have cultists move in, and the town, or rather the power surrounding the area, starts reflecting what's in their minds, and they believe in gods and devils and heaven and hell. So the power is able to create those things. It's able to make them real. So it's one of those situations of, like, are there actually gods that are in Silent Hill that are the source of the power? Or do the gods exist just as a result of the power? They exist because the cultists believe in them. And the town power is just doing what it always does. It's just taking what's in their subconscious and making it real. Because personally, that's the way I view it. There's different ways to interpret a lot of those larger concepts that are not addressed directly in the games or by the developers. A lot of this is meant to be left open to interpretation, but I've always seen it as sort of just a passive spiritual power that reflects whatever is in the minds of the people there. So it's not evil, it's not good, it's just a spiritual mirror that takes the subconscious of people and puts it into reality, whether that's dreams or nightmares or religious beliefs. It just takes whatever is in there and is making it real. And so I don't see it as like there being Silent Hill gods that can even break free and attach themselves and go to these other places. I don't think there are gods that are necessarily real within the town, within that power structure to be able to do that. Now, I would say that if there is a spiritual power that is able to exist around the Silent Hill area that's capable of doing this. Surely there would probably be other places in the world where similar things exist, like similar thin barriers between reality and unreality, where a similar type of spiritual power exists for basically the same reasons. I could see something like that being worked into the story if they really want to take the concept of Silent Hill out of Silent Hill as a town. You would need to establish that. You would need to make it kind of a grander concept where, for example, you have somebody who is a scientist, somebody, who's trying to observe all of these strange things going on around the town from an outside perspective, from a very logic-driven perspective, and completely has their worldview turned upside down as they experience things that they cannot explain. Somebody who would be traveling the world and like looking into places like Silent Hill and being like, oh, well, there's these other places that are like this. It would need to be something that would get worked in, that would be established in a meaningful way. And again, there's lots of different ways to approach it. You could have it be different places around the world where that spiritual power or similar powers exist. You could tie it more directly into the cult, where different branches and people, cults around the world form and cause similar things to happen. I don't know. I still think there's a lot of interesting ways to interpret the lore and expand on established lore for the town and the power and the history of all of it, rather than just boiling Silent Hill down into fog and trauma monsters and just put it anywhere in the world for any reason. I don't know. At the end of the day, I just want some good games. It would be ideal in an ideal world. You would get good games that honor the previous Silent Hill stories and lore that came before it, while expanding on it in a new and meaningful and interesting way, while also being a good game in an ideal world. But at the end of the day, if we get stuff like, Silent Hill F, where the connections are kind of weak and kind of flimsy, but the game itself is very solid, the story, the characters, the gameplay, for the most part, other than being a little too action heavy for my tastes, a little too zany with the fox arm stuff, but overall still a good game. I'll still take stuff like that over just like Ascension or Book of Memories, just like low effort trash. Yeah, El Payaso. I'm just rambling. We're just yapping. But I feel like that's a topic that comes up a lot. Worth repeating. But yeah, we're gonna be switching over to some Silent Hill Downpour. If my thing will work. Hello. There we go. We're getting back to Silent Hill Downpour, playthrough in progress from last week. This has been such a crazy week. Between so many things. some of which I can't even really talk about. But this has been a crazy week. It's been somewhat stressful, so been away from this playthrough longer than I anticipated. Rachel and I have been deep cleaning our house for the last 3 days. Because we found a mouse. We had a mouse manage to get in. And we were able to get him out without harming him or having to set any traps, and we haven't seen evidence that there's like more. So we're hoping it was just the one, kind of an isolated mouse getting in, getting away from the cold outside, but it also means we have to like really deep clean our house. That we've been like pulling the fridge and the oven out and scrubbing down everything, getting all the floorboards, baseboards. Oh, it's been an exhausting few days. El Payaso Loco de Texas. That sounds weird to say all that and then go into de Texas. De Texas. My brain wants to put the J in there. El Payaso, thank you so much. Really appreciate subscribing for 3 months in advance. Seems that Nub hates Mises to pieces. No, the Mies was... We managed to chase him out. We managed to chase him out without having to hurt him. No pieces of Mises. It was an adventure, though. We had to just, like, gradually chase him from place to place. And flipped over, like, our couch so that it couldn't run under it, and sort of made, like, a little pathway for it to run out our front door. Oh, man. But that sure was an adventure. Oh, it missed. That's fine. That's fine. I need to drop the battle axe, or the fire axe anyway. Because we need our trusty hook on a pole for this part. Do I swap out the nail gun for real gun? Got 20 nails. 25. Technically, I've got more pistol ammo.
That's more like it.
And in general, you pick up more handgun ammo than nails throughout the playthrough. And you guys already know I'm not the biggest fan of Downpour, but I will say, just like any other game, even the worst of Silent Hill stuff, maybe not so much like Book of Memories and Ascension, but these games, even though I'm not the biggest fan of them, they have moments, they have things in them that I like. And this section is one of them. I like the church orphanage stage play, all of this sort of area, just in general. I like this puzzle, the way that this plays out, having to recreate each sort of part of the play with the lighting and the curtains, everything having to go in order. Doing the sound effects and then having the stage play come to life where you're like running through it. Don't lie, you love this game. It's just not the best game ever. I do love it when Murphy screams shit, so that pretty much makes it my favorite thing in the world. Hey, Mercurius. Sweet. Nub Zombie to fall asleep for Christmas. Fall asleep to for Christmas. Merry Crimbus. Merry Crimbus, Mercurius. Yeah, we're out here on Christmas Eve playing some Silent Hill Downpour. And I'll be on tomorrow on Christmas Day for Shattered Memories. Once we get back home from doing our family thing in the morning or in the early afternoon. Hansel and Gretel, Act 1. The stage is set. The lights dim and a haunting melody begins to play. We are transported to the classic tale by the Brothers Grimm. Lights on, center stage. The curtain opens. Dim lights. Start music. Lights on center stage. Hansel, off stage. The way home has vanished. We see the children are in a dark forest with unknown dangers lurking around every turn. The children enter. Gretel. Oh, Hansel, the crows have eaten our bread. Hansel, worry not, I will watch over you. They come to a strange house. They mean to stay away, but it begins to rain. As thunder booms and the storm worsens, they creep closer to find the house is made out of goodies. Lights dim, music on, lights on center stage, dark forest, strange house, rain, thunder. Not gonna lie, I do fall asleep to Nub sometimes. A lot of people do. I don't take that personally at all. I'm honored to be the background noise while you sleep. Because there's a lot of... I can't sleep without background noise. I've always got some sort of stream or YouTube or something on in the background when I'm doing anything else. And I know how important it is to have that comfort. So, I am honored if my streams and my videos are that comfort for you. I forgot the music. Lights, then music. Stage. We got clappers. Into the forest. Through the forest to the house. There's always that one overly enthusiastic clapper. It's Shia LaBeouf. I love how it starts off, just the stage effects, and then once you start the rain, we get rain happening inside. This, like, gradual transition to the stage becoming real. This is one of the better segments of the game. I wish more parts of this game were this creative. And just visually interesting. It does get too dark. But I mean, it's a horror game. It's allowed to be dark. Not everything is going to be tailored for me who wants to look at everything in super great clarity. Hey, what's up, Mutation? See the weeping bat running off into the woods. Hi, Nub and Chad. How come you're playing Downpour? Please only answer this if the question hasn't been asked 1,000 times already. My original plan was to stream all of the Silent Hill games in the series in reverse release order. As always, my schedule has kind of been extremely inconsistent and not good at keeping up with that. So we're still doing that, but it's a little more spread out than I originally planned. But yeah, we're just going through all of the Silent Hill games, starting with the newest ones and going all the way back to the oldest ones. So earlier this month, we started with Silent Hill F. We did Silent Hill 2 Remake. We did Short Message. We did Ascension. We did PT and Book of Memories. So now we're on Downpour. I started it last week and didn't finish it. It's taken me a lot longer than I intended to come back to it, but we're going to be finishing up Downpour tonight. Tomorrow we'll be playing Shattered Memories on Christmas Day. Which I feel like Shattered Memories is a perfect Christmas game. For now, we have to solve this puzzle. At the very least, it's not a slider puzzle. I hate these kind of puzzles because they're super boring. It's just, you know, flipping each tile one by one until you get to the thing. But at the very least, I will take this over a fucking slider puzzle that just wastes my time. We'll get to the slider puzzle in Homecoming. Thankfully, I've got that one permanently memorized. All those years of speedrunning. That's the big problem with the one in Homecoming, too. It does not reset. Not easily. You should always have a reset button on your slider puzzles. And Homecoming does not. And it does not reset if you leave the room. It does not reset if you leave the entire house. I remember we did some testing on it, like what's the closest you can go. And I think you still have to go all the way back to like the graveyard at the very least. The mausoleum. It's quite the project. I didn't know you could replay Ascension. I mean, you can't replay it, like none of the interactive elements are there. But you can rewatch the show. Like all of the episodes are archived. But yeah, none of the interactive elements are there anymore. Game keeps lagging out. You can get an extra scene here. Oh, it's a boogeyman.
You won't find yourself, Mark, until you face the truth.
And then some words of wisdom from Officer Coleridge. But yeah, that's optional. You don't have to go into that bathroom for anything. Just a little extra boogeyman jump scare. Some extra dialogue with Coleridge. That's everything here.
Well, the itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again.
How much theme around rain can we possibly cram into
Wow,
this?
sweetie. Not gonna hurt you.
Yeah, that's supposed to be Anne Cunningham, the corrections officer that's chasing after Murphy. As a young girl, we're seeing like visions of the past, manifestations of her childhood. And it's one of the things that was confirmed in the Anne story comic book, because it's only sort of somewhat implied in Downpour like itself. You can see that there's a scene during one of the water slide moments. The spooky, scary water slide segments, where you see that little girl running across the road in front of you, and then Anne Cunningham, as an adult, running across in front of you. That's like the biggest implication that they give, that the girl's supposed to be Anne. But then you see flashbacks of her as a child in the Anne story comic book, talking to her father, like when she became inspired to become a corrections officer. And it looks just like her. It's the same little girl.
Come on, Daddy, hurry up!
Charlie?
Charlie? Charlie!
Don't do it, Charlie.
Charlie!
Pennywise the dancing clown's gonna get you. Wait, why can I still interact with that? Even after the doors are open? Okay. Considering the game's called Downpour, does the rain get worse by the end of the game? It doesn't really get worse like that. It sort of happens in waves, just as you spend time outside on the streets. There's obviously like certain scripted times where there's a storm or heavier rain coming through. But it's actually one of the like mechanics when you're wandering around the streets that you'll just randomly have storms roll in where the rain gets worse and more enemies spawn and are more aggressive whenever there's storms going on. At least that's the way it's supposed to work. But there's also a lot of times where there's no rain happening or very light rain happening, and there's still a ton of enemies around, and there's times where there's storms going on and there's no enemies around, even if you're looking for them. It's like all over the place. Really inconsistent mechanic. St. Maria's Institute. Preliminary psychological evaluation. A new patient arrived today, named blank blank and aged blank. Blank comes to us with a number of interesting psychological characteristics. We have to read the journal in our grid sections because you can't freely scroll. You just have like section 1, section 2, and section 3. I don't know why they made the journal like this. It's so annoying. He displays marked impairment in the use of a number of nonverbal behaviors, most notably eye contact, facial expression, and body posture. Blank blank shows no interest in participating in simple social play, preferring instead solitary activities. Though blank maintains adequate speech ability, he shows marked impairment in his ability to initiate and/or sustain a conversation with others. Furthermore, blank engages in the repetitive use of idiosyncratic language as well as repetitive mannerisms. Blank also has a persistent preoccupation with parts of objects. Further evaluation is required. Respectfully submitted, Dr. Chloe Zane. Some of these notes and things are really confusing, because, yeah, we're supposed to put together this dialogue with these notes. This kid who was here at the orphanage, possibly, who's being given medicine, who's, psychological workup, evaluation, paperwork, makes it seem like they are, like, on the autistic spectrum. But the game just sort of presents a lot of things, and it's not just with this, it's with lots of different little side stories in the game, where it seems like it's trying to imply, like, was that Charlie? Was Charlie in an orphanage? Was Charlie autistic? Was Murphy in an orphanage? Like, what relevance is this supposed to have on our main character, our main story, our main narrative? Like, how does it relate? Are we just supposed to see a parallel of, here is a child that was being abused, that was having a bad time, similar to Charlie, and it's just more for the fact of, like, presenting that to Murphy, constantly making Murphy have to remember Charlie. But even that is such a weird concept. It's not like Silent Hill 2, where everything is trying to make James remember what he did to Mary and, like, all of these things. Murphy is not suffering from that same... He's not suffering from that same sort of delusion or amnesia. He's aware. We get our little spooky DJ Bobby Ricks radio transmissions. And still our licensed music. Getting my video banned in several countries already. Let's see. We're going to need an axe here. It's a tornado. So what's the skinny here on the setting? Does this game imply the town is properly abandoned by this point, or is there more to it? I mean, it's one of those things that's tackled differently from game to game. They all sort of imply different things. For Downpour, the game is treated like, or the town is treated like purgatory. Like, it's not even really an active physical place anymore. It's just, here is a purgatory where you go when you've done bad things. And you have to constantly face your trauma, your custom-tailored trauma monsters. Which is not how it was established in like, the original games. That's the common misinterpretation of Silent Hill 2 that unfortunately became kind of synonymous with the series after all the Western games. Because if you're looking at just like the original games, like 1 through 4, Silent Hill 1, Harry Mason has been to the town before. He knows it as a vacation spot. Sybil Bennett refers to it as, like, you know, a place where there's tourists. When they're talking about the drug trade, like, oh, they sell them to the tourists, which means there's still tourists. Like, it's still a tourist destination. There's still people there. Silent Hill 2, you know, you're never seeing the town in any sort of reality. You're seeing it through the lens of James's delusion, which is why everything is decayed and rusted and abandoned. That's a reflection of James's state of mind, not the reality of the town. Because he was there on vacation with Mary. That actually happened. So it was still functioning, you know, 3 years before the events of Silent Hill 2 as, like, a normal tourist town. It gets a little bit fuzzier when you go into, like, Silent Hill 3, because you have Heather making comments that she's like, oh yeah, I forgot, but Silent Hill used to be a resort town, which implies that by the time Silent Hill 3 is taking place, Heather is thinking about it in past tense, like the town used to be a regular tourist town, but as of the timeline of Silent Hill 3, it no longer is. Silent Hill 4, you have Henry, who lives in 302, who is a photographer, who visited Silent Hill just like a year and a half before the events of Silent Hill 4, and says that he had a nice time there. It was a quiet little tourist destination. He took a bunch of photos. There was no fog. There was nothing weird. Like, so you're given the implication from those original games that there is still this functioning town that exists in reality to some degree. But when you're playing a Silent Hill game, 99% of the time you're not seeing the town in reality. You're seeing a delusional version of it. You're seeing it through the lens of an unreliable narrator. You're seeing it through some other perspective, some altered variation of reality. You're not actually seeing, you pretty much never see the town the way it like actually is. But yeah, once you get into like Downpour and some of the Western games and a lot of stuff, even with the original games, there's a lot of contradicting information where they changed their rules, they changed the ideas, because this wasn't originally written to be a franchise. They made one successful game, so they got to make another one, and that one did well enough that they got to make another one, and they continued ideas and expanded on things and went back and rewrote some things, because it wasn't all just done by one person with one creative vision. It was a big collaboration between like Hiroyuki Owaku, Keiichiro Toyama, Takayoshi Sato, a lot of these, Masahiro Ito, a lot of the creative, you know, main individuals of Team Silent, like, all collaborated on aspects of the game from a visual standpoint, from a story standpoint. So there's inconsistencies with what the power is, how it works, how populated the town is. It just changes. It just changes from game to game. Which honestly, I'm kind of fine with that. I'm fine leaving it vague and ambiguous. I don't think... I like having answers. I like having definitive elements of reality to help kind of push the narrative and give room for discussion. Like, elements of the story that we can all agree on. Like, yes, here is something that definitively happened. But then a lot of the details surrounding that element of reality should always be left mysterious. There's like a happy middle ground where you have more questions than answers, but it's not just all questions, and all of the more interesting things are not outright answered. Alright, this is gonna be loud if I get the wrong one. There it is. Scream time. Let's go, lads. Bad luck. Silent Hill Downpour. Speedruns suffer from this little segment here. There is a consistent way to, like, always, if you get really, really good movement, I think there's consistent ways, or slightly more consistent ways to, like, know which one has the key. Here we go. Second try. That's not bad.
This will be fun.
What's up, Ed? It's Christmas. Let's get loud. The Screamer is in the Christmas spirit.
It's the rest of the rhyme.
Dirty Lady is
Wonder
in
if
the
that kid will
Christmas
let me through
spirit.
the door now.
Love Silent Hill but never played Downpour? It's not one of my personal favorites, but you know, everybody's different. I feel like all of the mainline games are worth playing. Like, I definitely would say if you're like new to Silent Hill, start with 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you're playing new stuff, you know, even starting with the Silent Hill 2 remake isn't terrible. I would still say the remake hits best when you're already familiar with the originals, so I think it's still better to start with the originals. But once you've already played 1 through 4, it's worth delving into Origins, Homecoming, Shattered Memories, Downpour. You can ignore Book of Memories. Don't worry about that one. But I think the others are definitely still worth a playthrough. For you to decide for yourself if you like them or not. Because I know a lot of people who are fans of Homecoming. I know a lot of people who are fans of Downpour. And those two are typically, out of all the mainline games, kind of considered kind of the bottom of the bunch. And again, they're not my personal favorites, but it doesn't mean that there is absolutely nothing of note or merit in those games. I still think they're worth visiting. I didn't block in time. If you perfectly time your block there, you can prevent that knockdown animation. It's very hard to do. Downpour's underrated. If Vatra had 6 months to a year to let this finish baking, think it would have been a big hit, or at least better received. A lot of the concepts and stuff are there.
Hey,
I think if they had somebody else to kind of, refine the story a little bit, make the endings a little bit better, work out some of the plot holes,
Get out of there! Come on!
clean up a little bit of the mechanics, a little bit of the puzzles, add a little more enemy variety and interesting design in there.
Even the chaplain won't forgive you.
You could have had some really cool stuff. Instead, we've got Murphy, who just went through the trouble of collecting a rhyme and writing it down on little pieces of paper and putting them in his journal, which is in his back pocket right now, that he just refuses to take out and read when it actually matters. We just went through the trouble of collecting the rhyme. It's not like we found it written on the walls and we had to memorize it. It's in our journal. That's true. It's a cutscene, so he can't access his inventory. That's the logic. Those are the rules that DJ Bobby Ricks was talking about when he's like, there's rules you gotta follow.
You can't just forget.
Can't open the inventory during cutscenes. That's one of the rules.
You alone decide your fate.
But this is kind of what I mean. Stuff happens just for the sake of shock value or for the sake of story. Like, characters do very stupid things because otherwise there would be no story. There would be no tension. There'd be no drama.
Sorry. So sorry.
And that's just bad writing. That's just bad writing to me. Again, you could have this exact same scenario
Charlie!
make sense
Charlie! Oh, God.
and still be tense.
Charlie!
But
Mr. Pendleton, I have to ask you to leave, sir. We've got everything under control.
making him go around and collect bits of paper and then not read them when it matters is like the dumbest way to
Please,
approach
Mr.
it.
Pendleton, you don't want to be here. Let one of my officers drive you back to the command center, and we'll call you when...
Where's my boy? Is he out there? Charlie!
Also, this animation. Look at Murphy's face.
Charlie!
Something about the way his face twists when he yells Charlie like that. It looks like
Why did you
Gmod.
hurt him?
Like it looks
He
like
never
they're
did
just
anything to you.
morphing the eyes and the
me.
mouth
I didn't. I mean,
to like make that expression. Why does it look
wait!
And this was 2012.
Come
like
back.
2012, it's been a little
Thing is
while.
in
We're
there.
we're a little
It's not
separated from
safe.
2012, but there were better looking games at that time.
It.
We had better looking facial animation technology at our disposal. Yeah, and then the little kid screaming, the little kid voice acting in this. Oh, but now we're in Spooky World. We get our Disney sparkle magic transition into Spooky World. Look at that skybox. Glad you skipped this one. Yeah, it's a little lacking in subtlety. The writing quality is not great.
Wait.
Again, it's got some interesting ideas and concepts there. I can understand why people are fans of this, because there is a lot of stuff that on the surface is kind of enjoyable about it. It's one of those ones where the more you really think about it critically and try to make sense of it from a narrative and thematic standpoint, a lot of stuff kind of falls apart. It's got that late franchise Hellraiser vibe. Yeah, a little bit. Although, as a Hellraiser fan, I kind of like the schlocky late franchise Hellraiser movies. Hellworld. Hellworld is amazing, and it's got Superman in it.
What the hell?
Love Hellraiser and the Cenobites. Yeah. We're big Hellraiser fans. Both me and my wife. Really looking forward to the Hellraiser game that is going to get me banned from Twitch whenever it comes out. Is this Silent Hill 2 the original? No. This is Silent Hill Downpour from 2012. But I can see a little bit of like the James haircut when you're looking from this angle, from behind. I can see the similarity. Slightly James-esque.
Wait. I'm trying to help you.
Trying to help you. Get back. Stop running from me. I'm a scary prisoner with an axe. I'm trying to help you. Does look like Remake James a little bit, yeah. Do you see a lot of similarities to Remake? That's because this is sort of what games have looked like for the past 15 years. over-the-shoulder, earth tone, third-person action. The wall things are funky. Those are kind of neat. Yeah, the, like, wall men into circles. They're one of the more interesting creature designs in this. And even then, they're still just kind of wall men. They're Silent Hill 4 wall men, but
You won't find yourself
gross, and they squirt.
the truth.
That was almost bad. This is the one that doesn't go, and then that one doesn't go. And this one, 3, 4, 5. I should be able to make it. Getting killed by these things is funny as fuck. I mean, all of the deaths in this are kind of funny because Murphy just ragdolls. This game's got some top tier ragdolling. Speaking of which, I didn't realize I was that close to death. I thought I would survive that. Hey, what's up, Oleander? Merry Christmas Eve. It's Chrism. Oh my god. No, you're supposed to break me through the wall without killing me. I'm supposed to survive that. There's no reason for me to even be doing that. I'm just doing stuff that I've learned through speedrunning. Because it's fun to do. But I guess I'll play it safe. Apparently my health is lower for this section than I accounted for. The slow motion jump. Murphy's such an acrobat. Oh, he broke it. He broke it already? Okay, bye. He just walks off. I guess this technically counts as a puzzle. All you have to do is go through the doors where the painting is bright. Bright instead of dark. And try not to get skeeted on by the knockoff wall men in the process. Guess it's just that one. Murphy's very athletic after all the running from his maybe guilt. His maybe guilt. And he's definitely doing some running either way. Maybe he feels bad about something. Maybe he never did anything. Maybe he's a prison guard and Anne is the prisoner. Not the licensed music. We will never know, 'cause Downpour. Pretty much. Ow. Ow. It's like a fun mystery box. I mean, genuinely, that's how some people see it, and they're fine with that. They like the ending being more open. I'm fine with like open-ended stories and narratives, but not when several of the endings sort of contradict the story that was built up, you know, built up to that point. Because it just leaves you, at least for me, it leaves me with a very dissatisfied feeling to be like, oh, all this stuff that I like paid attention to was actually pointless. And it's like, here was what was actually going on. It's this one twice, and then these. I mean, Silent Hill F is very similar. It's one of my main complaints about that game too, is the way the endings are handled. But yeah, F feels a lot like that, especially on your first playthrough, where you're locked into that, like, bad ending, essentially. It feels very dissatisfying to be reading all of this lore and all of these notes and everything about the gods and the power and the ancient water dragons and all of this stuff, the family curse. And it's like, oh, where's this going? Where's this going? Where's all of this going to go? Oh, it was just a drug trip? It was just in her head? Like, there was no point in paying attention to that other stuff? At least with Silent Hill F, you get some justification from the other endings of like, well, here is at least a scenario that puts that information to use. Silent Hill Downpour is just kind of like, yeah, here's this character. He's very tortured by the poor decisions he has made in life that have led to him feeling like he's got nothing left except for revenge, and it's a story about this character learning that revenge doesn't solve anything. So let's have the two, like, good endings both completely contradict that and make it where the character never killed the person in question, never killed Napier,
Hey, get away
wasn't
from her.
responsible for crippling Officer Coleridge. Like, all of that was George Sewell. Like, to me, that's just a big mistake, not having that be a consistent aspect of Murphy as a character. Regardless of ending, he should have been responsible for Napier's death. Directly. And according to Tom Hewlett, that was originally supposed to be the case. Like, changing that aspect for the endings was something that Tom Hewlett has said was not intentional. That it was like a mistake that slipped by. I'm like, that's a pretty big fucking mistake. Have your main protagonist's motivations completely contradicted by your endings. Hey, Legate. Happy Christmas Eve. Baking, but I'll happily listen along. Very nice. I'll be doing some baking myself tomorrow morning.
Why are you doing this to me?
Why are you doing this to me?
Thank you for coming to shepherd your son home, Mr. Pendleton. I know it's difficult losing a child.
With all due respect, I don't think you do.
You don't know
And like I
her.
already
You don't know
told
her
you,
life,
There's been a
Murphy.
mistake. I buried my son years ago.
I understand, Mr. Pendleton. We all deal with grief in our own way. Shall we? Now, if you'll just sign for your son's body, you can take him home.
No! This isn't my son! This thing's a monster, a murderer!
Yes, well, I suppose that runs in the family.
What the hell are you talking about?
Genuine
Don't
question.
you know, child?
What the hell are you talking about?
Have you wandered so far off the path to not even realize who you
What
are?
are we implying with this scene?
What the hell are you talking about?
So often the answers are before
I mean, I
us,
understand
Murphy.
the symbolism of,
If
like,
only
the
we allow ourselves
boogeyman
to see them.
represents anybody
Why are
who
you doing this
has
to me?
become that for somebody
There were
else,
those who dwelt in
whether
darkness and in the shadow
it's
of
intentional
death,
or not.
prisoners in misery
You know,
and chains.
Napier
because they had rebelled
supposedly
against the word of
genuinely
God.
did something horrible to Murphy's son Charlie. So Murphy being obsessed with that person, wanting revenge, that person became his
The
boogeyman.
Lord in their
I
trouble.
screwed up,
He
but I
saved
didn't
them.
see any other
He
way.
brought
Murphy
them out of
becomes the
You don't know
boogeyman
what it
to
was
Anne
like to
Cunningham
know it was
for
my
the same
fault I was
reason.
gone.
She blames
Every
him,
time
and
I
that's
shut
all she
my
can obsess
eyes,
about.
I saw Charlie's
For the
face,
Lord
and all I
hates
could
thee and
think
does not
was,
despise
that
his who
monster
are
is still
possessed.
alive, but I'll never get to see
Amen.
my boy again. Why are you doing this to me? What do you want?
See, this scene right here shows that Murphy does not have the amnesia or the delusion or anything like that that James suffered from.
What I did to Napier didn't solve anything.
What I did to Napier didn't solve anything.
Charlie was still gone.
And other than the bad ending where Murphy's being put to death
Everything
for killing
spiraled out of
everyone,
control.
including
It was
Charlie,
my fault. I just want.
Murphy
I
doesn't kill
just want
Napier.
my life back.
Sewell does.
Revenge is a long, treacherous road, isn't it, Mr. Pendleton? Where do you suppose it ends?
It kind of sucks because this is actually an emotional
If you
scene,
want it.
but the ending negates all of
You only
this.
need to claim him as your own.
Yeah, that's... Even the scene itself is kind of whatever.
You see?
It's a little
knew
too
you'd
much
come around
nonsense.
to
It's a
me.
little too much just... We need somebody to give... We don't have a cult in this game, so we need somebody to give some of that religious flavored, ambiguous dialogue, culty sounding dialogue. This just feels like an excuse to have that in the game. And it's like, it doesn't need to make sense. It just needs to fit that vibe. Like, the vibes are there with the character, the voice actress, but when you're really trying to piece together, like, okay, what's our symbolism that we're going for with the boogeyman? If the boogeyman represents, like, someone who has done someone wrong, Murphy sees Napier as his boogeyman, and Cunningham sees Murphy as her boogeyman. So it's like, anybody can be a boogeyman, just if you are painted as the villain in someone else's eyes. So then why do we have the nun, like, here is your son's body? Is it just an excuse to get Murphy into a place where the boogeyman is there so that we can try to have this fight? Like, it paints out the idea when it's doing the, like, flashing back and forth between Murphy and Napier when the mask comes off. I don't know, it just feels very inconsistent with what it's trying to say. And again, that whole scene, if you're paying attention to that dialogue, it's like all about Murphy's guilt. All about Murphy facing the guilt
Charlie?
of what he did to
Charlie?
Napier.
Hold on, I'm coming.
I ruined my life for nothing. It didn't bring Charlie back, it just made my life and my wife's life worse. Except that, you know,
Charlie! Charlie!
he didn't do it. Hiya! 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 Animation skip right there, by the way. You gotta perfectly time that weapon pickup when the boogeyman slams down on the ground If you don't pick up the weapon at the exact moment that happens, it'll stun you and knock you down. Managed to skip the animation. Still got it.
You killed him. You killed the boogeyman.
I did it, missing Culkin child.
Doesn't matter. It didn't bring you back. Nothing can bring you back.
It's not your fault.
Also, this feels like it should, like, this should be an ending scene, right? This is a weird thing to have, like, in the middle of the game. Murphy and Charlie having the "it's all right, I forgive you, Dad." Like, that's like James and Mary, James having the conversation with Mary in the bed at the end of Silent Hill 2. If you just threw that into the middle of the game. Anne really is the main character. Murphy sorts his shit out like 2 hours before she does. Anne is the more interesting character. This, apparently, like, according to Tom Hewlett, some of the stuff he said, that Downpour was originally going to have multiple scenarios. It was going to be multiplayer at one point with someone controlling Murphy and someone controlling Anne. There were all these different ideas and things that kind of got scrapped with Downpour. I really wish they would have kept Anne's story as a playable scenario instead of making it a comic book. I wish somehow they could have worked that into this game, because the Anne story comic book really helps a lot with a lot of the plot holes, a lot of the stuff that does not go addressed in the game itself. It adds a lot more clarity to the story. And it's just more interesting. Anne is definitely the more interesting character. Like, ever since she was a child, she wanted to be a corrections officer because of her father. Like, it builds up how important her father was in her life. And how important, like, being a corrections officer and helping prisoners, trying to help people, trying to be a good person for people who need a second chance in life. Like, all of those themes and aspects of her character are built up, and then how quickly all of that can turn. Like, once her father gets attacked, Sewell cripples him, and he doesn't die right away. He's, like, in a wheelchair for years, I think, or a year, 2 years, something like that. He's in a wheelchair for some undetermined amount of time. Oh shit, it's the cops. And, you know, Anne has to take care of her father. She swears, you know, she thinks that it's Murphy responsible for it. Because that's just what Sewell does to get off the hook. He pins it all on Murph. We don't need that painting. We're not doing that side quest. But Anne Cunningham has to, like, go out of her way to get revenge on Murphy. He's in another prison that she does not work for. So she has to try to arrange a prisoner transfer, which is why the transfer is happening at the start of the game. That was all Anne Cunningham, like, all the efforts that she put in. And to make that happen, she had to, like, sleep with this really creepy, perverted warden at the prison that she works at. Which is why there are monster sex dolls as monsters in the game. That's part of, like, Anne viewing herself in that way. Just an object used for sex. but it's what she needed to do to be able to get her revenge, that she was willing to sacrifice that aspect of herself for a chance at revenge on Murphy. Because the whole situation, like, drove her husband away. So eventually her father died, and just like it ruined her life. And she blamed Murphy and went through all this, you know, horrible stuff. She barely mentions that in the actual game. There's one little line of dialogue at the very end where she's like, do you have any idea the sick things I had to do to get you here, or something along those lines. And that's like it. She never goes into it any further than that. And the comic book does. So again, those aspects of her character are so much more interesting than what's going on with Murphy. I really wish we could have gotten Anne's perspective as something playable in the game. Not just a comic book that came out like 5 years later.
Gotta be kidding me.
Did you really think it could end like this?
After everything you saw back there, everything we've been through, you think going back to prison is all that's at stake here?
We're not going to Wayside.
What are you saying?
Turn the boat around.
Are you out of your mind? We're free. When we reach the opposite shore, I'll go one way, you can go the other. It's that easy.
We've got unfinished business, you and I.
I have no idea what the hell you're talking about, and honestly, I don't care anymore. There is no way in hell I'm going back.
It wasn't a request.
We've both just been through hell. Haven't you been paying attention?
No, you haven't been paying attention. You think this is all an accident? Just a big coincidence?
Just say it.
This town, it knows me.
Tell Murphy.
It showed me things.
Tell Murphy the things that it showed
It
you.
wants me to finish this. Don't you understand?
And then Murphy
It'll
will know what
never
you're
let us
talking
go
about.
Until we
He'll know
finish
who your
what we
father is.
started. What you started.
And you'll understand that it was just a mistake.
I'm not going back. You might as well shoot me.
Fine.
She's just like, good enough. And then a dirty lady scream right at the end. What was that?
How's it going, Murph? Heard you're gonna be leaving us soon.
What do you want, Sewell?
You weren't thinking of leaving before you paid back my favor, were you?
Napier.
What am I talking about? Of course you're gonna keep your end of the deal. You're a real stand-up guy, Murphy. Parole report says so right there in black and white. A model prisoner, right? Sure would be awful if they found out about what you did to that child bugger and bastard, though, wouldn't it? I mean, shit.
This is just me
That
bitching,
would
but I
ruin
hate this
everything,
game's
wouldn't it?
subtitle
What do you want me
font.
to do?
You don't like the
What
slightly
you're good at, of
misaligned
course.
typewriter
Ridding
style
the world of
font?
monsters. I got another one for you.
Who is it?
Don't worry yourself about the details, Cupcake.
I don't know.
Just
It's
take
not
out the garbage like you
not
did before and we'll be square.
that big of a problem to me,
There's
but
gonna be a little
I see what you mean.
disturbance tonight. The other guards and me are gonna have
The
our
Comic
hands full, so
Sans
no one's gonna
derivative.
notice when you head down
It's
to the
not that
showers
bad.
and find your guy waiting there, just like last
it's
time.
not full-on Comic Sans.
And then?
Oh, I think you know what comes next.
I said I get what they
Unless,
were
of
going
course,
for. It's kind of
you're
a
thinking of
bubbly
breaking our
typewriter
deal.
font.
And this other guy?
It's a
He
little bit of
deserves
the
it.
goofy font
Oh,
for the
Murph, you have
the
no
tone,
idea
the
how
rest
bad
of the
he
tone of the
deserves
game.
it. Hell, I only wish I could do it myself. So, what do you say, Cupcake? You gonna play ball?
Where's my classic
I'll take care of it.
Palatino linotype modified font from like Silent Hill 3? Now I'm in a new prison outfit. Officer Coleridge.
Welcome home.
Murder's a mortal sin. You go to
It is a
hell
long,
for murder.
treacherous
You don't recognize
So often the answers are before us, Merlin. Only we allow ourselves to see them.
Welcome home. Murder's a mortal sin. You're being symbolically held in prison because of your mortal sins of murder, which, according to this game's good endings, you did not commit in the first place. Better watch out, I've got a stick. Not afraid to use it. Sit down when shots are fired.
I might be able to cross over on this. Come on, Murphy, hold it together, man.
Yeah, Murphy. Keep your shit together. You should be used to seeing random hallucinations while you balance. You've had a lot of experience with that already. My God, stuck on everything.
You don't need these anymore, do you?
Sorry, dead guy. Walkie-talkie. My optional radio. Still kind of interesting to me that moments like that are just funny. I know they're trying to go for like sudden and shocking, but someone screaming while they like speed past on the elevator drop. It's like a very Looney Tunes scream on top of it. Half-Life elevator drop, yeah. Ow. Ow. Kicked me in my chest. Get kicked in your chest. Here we get the one and only note about Murphy's wife. This is like the only time that any kind of notes or memos really mention her. And you only see her in the bad end, where she's in the audience for Murphy's execution. The enemy design still gets to you. Cannot convince me that buff dudes with hooks in their noses was the coolest thing they thought of to represent prisoners as monsters. Yeah, that's kind of this game in a nutshell. It's very uninspired. The concepts and ideas are not bad, but the extent of the creativity did not go very far. Because, yeah, you could have done better than just dudes with tattoos and weird faces. We could have had some more abstract Silent Hill type monsters that still represent those aspects of Murphy. The idea of prison and guilt, and you can express those ideas through something other than he's a big buff prisoner man with a thing on his face. Murphy, forgiveness? You have the balls to ask me for forgiveness? How can I possibly forgive you when you've destroyed everything I had left in this world? Every time I look at you, all I can see is his face. I only ever asked one thing of you, and that was to be a good father to our son. You failed me, Murphy. You failed me, and you failed Charlie, and now there's no way we'll ever have him back. Don't call me. Don't write. I never want to see you again. Carol. Where were you, Carol? Where were you?
Carol.
Protecting our son.
Where did they get this?
Why is that all 100% on Murphy? Hey, Rushmore. Welcome back. Thank you so much for the 70 months. Merry Crimes. Merry Crimes, miss. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. Excuse me. No, don't. Just break it. We need to run from the scary bald man. But look out for the other scary bald man. Again, this is the monster design. We need something to represent scary prisoners. Also, I love that animation, how he just grabs onto the cable. It doesn't just, like, smack into him and electrocute him. He, like, reaches out for it. He really wanted it. Murphy may or may not have killed a man, but he doesn't deserve all the blame. I mean, that was after. That was later. And he didn't even really do it. I love the really chopped up Murphy scream mixed in with all of that. BFD seeking public's assistance in locating individuals suspected of child murder. Boston Police Department has issued a be on the lookout BOLO alert for Patrick Napier in connection with the murder of an 8-year-old male. In the BOLO alert, the BPD expresses interest in locating and questioning the suspect and asks all law enforcement personnel and civilians to notify the BPD immediately if he is located. Suspect should be considered armed and dangerous. Whoops. Shotgun. Axe. Item juggling. I guess Murphy just feels bad about beating him up and stabbing him in the shoulder and making him do jumping jacks. But he wakes up from that in his cell. We don't even know that Murphy actually did that. All we know is George Sewell says the dialogue at the end. I served him to you like a fucking Christmas goose, and you couldn't even finish the job. He says you couldn't even finish the job, which implies that Murphy did probably still beat him up, but then just couldn't finish the job, was refusing to actually kill him, had a change of heart. Was like, I don't want to murder this man. Don't yell. Why are you yelling at me? Overlook Penitentiary, The Prison of No Return by Paul Grimm. In operation for more than 50 years, Overlook Penitentiary, also the Overlook, little on the nose, has garnered a reputation as a place where prisoners are sent to never be seen or heard from again. But that's not all. Overlook has also been rumored for decades to be haunted. Strange disembodied voices, ghost-like apparitions, gruesome deaths, and unexplained disappearances. The inventory of peculiar happenings that have been reported over the years by both prison staff and inmates is disturbingly prolific, some might say. Others, however, claim this is nothing more than legends born out of an environment that is conducive to terrifying tales. Oh my god. The sections. No question about it, Warden Stephen Creviston told us. This can be an extremely scary place. We've got society's worst of the worst locked up here, many of them clinically insane. It's just a matter of time until crazy stories flow out of our prison, regardless of how impossibly horrifying they may sound. Despite his doubts about the paranormal aspects of Overlook, Creviston does admit that some portions of the prison's notorious reputation are not wholly undeserved. Over the years, there have been numerous reports of strange deaths within Overlook's foreboding walls, and even more bizarre disappearances. And although a number of these incidents remain unsolved, Creviston maintains that the vast majority of the disappearances are easily explained. Prison is surrounded by something waters. Prison's haunted. You didn't get just sent to prison, you got sent to ghost prison. Bad luck for you.
The guards can pass their sidearms through that window. Yeah.
No prison should have easily explained disappearances. That is not how prisons work. Traditionally, no. Most of the time, you're not supposed to disappear from prison. That's how the prison's supposed to work. But I mean, at this one, it's just happening all the time. No, don't put it... Oh. Pick up, pick up, pick up, and then slightly move so that I can pick this up and not put everything back on the shelf. Item juggling in this game. Block the shotgun shot. Love their little kung fu stances. It's so goofy. It's definitely... I think I made the reference last time, but there's some Power Rangers putty energy going on there. Just when they like run waving their hands. It's a very like Power Ranger thing. Super Sentai. By the time you read this, I will be gone. I wasn't sent here with a life sentence, but that's what it's come to. Days here are eternal, relentless. Each new sunrise brings endless boredom and monotony. Each new sunset, pain and fear. I've done my time and I no longer wish to be here. But I found a way out. Soon I will be dead, but I am finally free. I'm coming, baby. Keep on rocking, baby. Prisoner found a way out. Turns out it was a noose. That was their game plan. Oh, and then we get a spooky silhouette. Just to emphasize it even more, in case you didn't understand. The chair gets kicked over. And the silhouette of someone hanging in the noose. See, that would have been interesting if that was like an ending. Murphy went through with it and was so consumed by the guilt that he took his own life rather than continue living in prison, living out his sentence. It's like, oh, you're being punished because you gave up. You didn't serve out your sentence. So now you're stuck in purgatory because you thought you could escape prison through suicide. So this is it being, the power being like, no. You don't get off the hook that easy. That'd be a little more interesting. Not necessarily as like a good canonical ending, but as like a bad ending, that would be a little bit more interesting and satisfying than Anne Cunningham was the prisoner and you were the guard the whole time. Now he's in super prison. Super jail. Code for this keypad is always the same. 2345 on easy, 22345 on standard and hard. Skips one of the most annoying puzzles. The license plate stamping machines that constantly keep going off and sending wave after wave of enemies after you while you look around for each digit in the combination. Offworld Devil says, "Oh wow, Murphy's jumpsuit has dynamic cloth creases. Oh, look at this slap." Psh. I love that this big prison fight starts over that trip and that little slap. But yeah, Offworld Devil. The like wet cloth mechanics are one of my favorite things in this game. It's kind of a minor detail, but it's one of the things that the game actually does pretty well in terms of visuals. How can she slap? Now we just play some Dead by Daylight while we wait for the door to open. We just gotta loop these baby killers. Oh no, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Alright, see you later. Oh, he still ran up and got a slap. So rude. Guy just ignored me. I'll take it. The prison shank. A handmade weapon sharpened to perfection. See, it's like we're supposed to be finding the evidence of the crime scene, which again would presumably be evidence showing that it was Sewell, not Murphy.
How's it going, Murph?
How's it
Heard
going,
you're gonna
dude?
be leaving us soon. You weren't thinking of leaving before you paid back my favor, were you?
Hey, who's there?
Just like making Murphy relive these moments where he encountered Sewell in the bathroom, saw what Sewell's game plan was, that he wanted to exchange Murphy killing Coleridge in exchange for having his chance to kill Napier. And then Murphy winds up killing neither of them. At least in the generally accepted good endings. Again, the only ending where Murphy's actually responsible is in like one of the worst endings where he's being put to death and he like killed everyone. Napier, Coleridge, Charlie. And even in that ending, he's not guilty about it whatsoever. He's like mocking Sewell right before he's put to death. Calling him Cupcake. Watch me, Coleridge. I'm fast as fuck. You don't know who I can outrun. Why doesn't the boy eat the prisoner, man? Oh. And then it all Disney magics away. Might have been able to make that. For elevator action. we go. I'm like, any day now. Elevator will move again. Trying to smack you in the face. Shooting the one behind you, Murphy. Shoot the one that is in... Oh, he's still determined to shoot the corpse on the ground over there. Murphy. Still shooting the one on the ground. That's okay. We'll just manually aim and miss point blank, even when the reticle is red. Dirty ladies and shirtless men? Yeah, I know. What a nightmare, right? This is not a dream. There goes my weapons and all of my supplies again, because this game just loves doing that. Fuck you and all of the items and weapons and things that you're trying to collect. This is also, it does the same thing so many times throughout the game. This is another one of those things that makes the side quests and stuff feel really pointless to me, where you go through all this, you know, certain side quests give you special weapons, some guns, unique melee items and things like that. It's like you still lose them. You still use everything for like 45 minutes and then, or even if you don't use it, if you try to save it for something. And then the game's just like, okay, your time with these toys is up. Cross the bridge and lose everything.
That's right, you ugly bastards. Back off!
Oh, might have been too late. Nope.
Yes.
into the spinning blades of death room. Classic Silent Hill fun house. Sarcasm, by the way. Yeah, just I don't know. Something about the way this game is. These segments. It's so not Silent Hill. Like they really trying. They got halos of the sun on the pads that you're stepping on, but I don't know. Just the vibes are different. Yeah, what if we just made the other world a big saw trap? It's kind of what it feels like. Do it. Leave me alone. Don't you do it. Why are you bullying me? Murphy, use the ladder. See if I can get lucky. Depending on the enemy AI, he's not going to let me have it. Depending on the enemy AI, whenever the lights blink back on, it's possible to get through this without fighting anything. But it's very difficult. You just have to get super lucky. Do it. Go, Murphy, go. No, he's already back up. Why are you like this? The fucking wind up for the kill. Murphy's got to really charge up that That last hit, the finishing blow. Nothing corresponds to anything in the actual town. These otherworld segments are all nowhere and labyrinth on steroids. Yeah, they don't really treat it where you're going through like, oh, we went through the library and now we're going to go through the otherworld spooky version of the library. It's like every time you go to the otherworld, reality peels away and it is just a prison. No matter what you do, no matter where you go, no matter how you experience it, it's prison. Which, thematically, I can understand wanting to do something like that. But it could have been more interesting. I feel like it could have been there could have been more variation, more variety in the way the otherworld is depicted. Have areas that start off looking normal and then become deteriorated and then become like prison. Like have everything kind of eventually peel away. Because the true prison is the prison of your mind when you feel guilt or something like that, I'm sure. The clever metaphor they want to go for. But it could have been expressed in a more interesting way. But yeah, I agree. The otherworld, the sense of shock is never really there with the otherworld. And any element that there is it wears off very quickly, because from the very first moment you go into the otherworld, it's just like topsy-turvy. Everything is giant water wheels and spinning machinery and water everywhere. You kind of become desensitized to it immediately. Like, if this time where we're fighting this boss was the first time we ever saw the otherworld look like this, it would have a bit more impact, but it's looked like this literally since the first trip. The first water slide. Oh, it's... stuck. I'm stuck. You can actually move Murphy during that segment and start running towards the next switch during that cutscene. But I went the wrong direction and got Murphy stuck in the corner instead. Now we're literally and figuratively pulling the plug on Officer Coleridge. Somebody that Murphy had no hand. Like that was all George Sewell. Murphy didn't do anything to him. But he's still our final boss. For reasons. Downpour. Yeah, you don't have to deal with those guys for this whole segment. Anytime these pop out, just shoot them. They just wheel themselves back into their cell. This one's a fake out. No wheel in it. You can just grab that first aid. I've gotten really bad at doing these switch cycles. Last one. Sorry, Coleridge. It wasn't Murphy's fault. Except for the endings where it was.
How could you?
What?
He was a good man. A good man.
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm a good man
They tried
too.
to kill me. It's not a man, it's a monster. No, that's not how it was supposed to go. That's not what I agreed to.
Except it's exactly what you agreed to.
Murphy? Is that you?
It's what you agreed to. You just didn't do it.
I'm glad it's just you. This thing is kicking off something fierce. I knew you'd be smart enough to steer clear of it.
What are you doing here?
Hey, Akinya. Merry Christmas Eve.
Sewell told me to meet him here. You haven't seen him, have you? He ain't answering his radio. Are you okay, Murph? You don't look so good. What's that you got there? What the hell's going on, Murphy?
No. This isn't what I agreed to.
What are you talking about? Agreed to what?
Tell him, Murph.
What's going on here, Sewell? Why didn't you answer the radio?
Should've learned to keep your big fucking mouth shut, Frank. Now my friend Murphy's gotta shut it for you.
Murphy, don't do this.
Come on, Murphy, you gonna keep your end of the bargain or not? Do it, you
Murphy,
son of a bitch!
No.
No.
You also get this scene, regardless of which ending you get.
You know, he was a great man, my dad. Didn't matter who you were. Family, friends, even prisoners. He treated everyone with respect. Always looking for the positive side of people. I wanted to be just like him.
You don't understand. Your father treated me like one of his own.
He didn't die right away, you know. After you were done beating the life out of him, he spent years in that wheelchair. A fucking vegetable. Did you know that? And I had to watch this wonderful man shit and piss all over himself, day after day after day. And every time I looked at him, you know what I saw?
Listen to me.
I saw a monster. I saw you.
Just calm down a minute and let me tell you what really happened.
You don't know how many strings I had to pull to get your transfer approved, to get you to my prison. The favors I had to call in, the sick things I had to do to get you under my watch.
And that's all she says about it.
You don't have to do this.
We don't get to know about any of that unless you read the comic book.
He didn't believe in revenge. But I do.
And now we get our choice. We get to make a choice here. We can let Anne kill us.
Kill you, you bastard!
We can kill Anne. We can just wait it out.
I hate you.
Now we get to be the boogeyman.
I hate you.
I hate you. Boink. Ankles shattered. And then after all that, we're gonna hit her with the, nah, I was just kidding. I was just fucking with you.
No. I won't do it.
Yeah, I thought you might say that.
No!
No.
Jesus, you're pathetic. What about Napier? The guy kills your boy. You go through all the trouble of getting yourself locked up with him, and what happens? I serve him to you like a fucking Christmas goose, and you can't even finish the job.
Can't even finish the job. Couldn't finish Napier. Wouldn't kill Coleridge. Wouldn't do anything that Napier told him to do.
Finish the bastard off for you.
But for some reason, we're just smothered in guilt.
Murphy, run!
And this is the thanks I get.
Frank!
Put your hands where I can see them.
You son of a...
I'm not gonna tell you again.
Christmas goose? He said Christmas. It's a Christmas game.
1000, C block, shower level.
We're playing the best Silent Hill games for Christmas.
I didn't.
Downpour on Christmas Eve, where Christmas Goose,
Roger that.
and then tomorrow on Christmas Day we're gonna play Shattered Memories.
Cop killers don't last too long in here.
I'm sorry, Frank.
The most wintry Silent Hill.
I'm sorry, Frank.
It wasn't you.
It was my fault he died.
Pendleton.
I'm so sorry.
I forgive you.
Hugs. Hug it out. Sorry about your dad. Sorry about your son. Anyway, you're still a convicted prisoner. Like, you still stole that cop car? And you're still serving your sentence for that?
Is this... Are we free?
Yeah. I think we are.
All units respond. Ryle Prison DOC bus involved in a TC. Fatalities eastbound 73. Fire and rescue en route.
I should go.
I guess you
Somehow
bet.
she could see his flashbacks or past memories. It's Silent Hill magic. Don't worry about it.
Where are you going?
Don't worry about it. It's Silent Hill magic. Everything's fine
There's
now.
someplace I gotta be.
The plot decided that now they're aware of each other's traumatic pasts, so they're
Murphy,
friends.
wait.
It was all a misunderstanding.
Thank you.
For what?
The truth.
All right. Well, I guess I'm going to go be a fugitive of the law now. See you later. Also, how does he get away? The guards were right there.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, motherfucker.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Come on,
This is the canon ending, by the way.
Hey.
This is the
what are
ending
you
that's
doing
in
back
Anne's
here so
story
soon, sweetheart?
comic book.
Can't get enough of the place. The hell's this?
You used to work with my father, Frank Coleridge.
Yeah? So?
We need to talk.
And then she murders a man in cold blood. She gets her revenge on her boogeyman. Because Murphy showed her the truth, that he was not the boogeyman, that Sewell was the real boogeyman, and that everything that Murphy was guilty of, or feeling the guilt because of his actions, it's fine. It was a misunderstanding. Let's just have a hug. No way, that's how it ends? That's how it ends. That is, again, the most accepted, like, canonical ending if you're going off of the comic book ending. And then we're treated to Jonathan Davis from Korn once again. I wanna keep the peace. Chat, have you ever really noticed the blanket of shame? Did you ever really notice it? Wow. My wow. Oh, they don't even mention the nun voice actress. And she's the one who had like the most of a career after this. And then they play a bunch more licensed music that's all about storms and rain, because that's the extent of this game's subtlety and creativity. Anyway, that's Silent Hill Downpour. Merry Christmas, everybody. Just like Downpour. Yep. But yeah. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Hope everybody has a wonderful time. Regardless of what you may be doing, if you celebrate Christmas or anything at all. I hope you all just have a great day, have a great night, enjoy the rest of your week. And I will be back tomorrow trying my best to finish out playing Silent Hill games before the year ends. We might have to skip the arcade game and play novel, but we can still do Shattered Memories tomorrow on Christmas Day. Saturday I'm going to be busy because we're going to have some friends over, so I won't be able to stream then, but we'll pretty much be able to do all the other games, all the other mainline stuff before the end of the year, hopefully. I say that every time I try to schedule and be like, hey, we're going to do stuff, my life explodes and there's stuff that keeps me from streaming. So we'll hope for the best. But either way, we'll play some Silent Hill this month. And next month, next year, next eternity. But yeah, that's going to be it for me for tonight. Again, thank you all for coming by, hanging out, keeping me company. Hope you all have a good holiday, a Merry Christmas if you celebrate. Stay warm if it's cold where you live, depending on your hemisphere. And yeah, like I said, I'll be doing Christmas morning with Rachel and her family tomorrow. But once we get back home, I'm going to set up the Wii U and we'll play some Silent Hill Shattered Memories for Christmas. So hopefully see you all tomorrow for that. If not, I will see you when I see you. But be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Much love. Peace.